Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for your patience. Um, ah, it's one of those days. How is everybody? I don't even know if that's a wise question to ask on the heels of what we're all currently experiencing, currently enduring. Yeah. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to come before you all today. But I'm here as probably broken as many of you. Hey, Brooke. Hey, TR. Thank you for coming by. You actually came early. Honey, sorry, y'all. I need my husband to come and fix the lighting. Hello, is it Asa? Can you pull it out there this way? It's on this side. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Get the lighting squared away. Hold on 1 second. Alicia, that's all I can do tonight. Like, well, that's all I do any night, but I'm gonna turn this one off. That's all I have is my heart, and it's pure as it can be. I'm not perfect, but I definitely try to come from a place of pure. I'm hurting. I can only imagine if I'm hurting what that's directly in my eyes. So it's gonna have to kind of be off a little bit. Yeah. Y'all, thank you for being patient with me. Like today, I don't know if everybody has a late live. This is definitely my first time being late to a live. It's still shining in my glasses. I'm gonna have to start doing this in my contacts. Also, can you put the pronunciation in there so I can say it right? There's something about the green lights shining behind me. I'd like to have them on. Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for coming. Because I need you. I need y'all here. You're fine, babe. Our production today is a little bit, in the words of Tabitha Brown, production. Where is production? It's a little off, but today has been off. Like no matter how I've done well by staying off of social media. I have limited the information that I've obtained to reading articles. I hadn't looked at any videos as best I could. I've overheard them in some cases, but I've not looked because I know I can't take it. Like my heart can't take it. I know that there is looting and rioting. Hey, Coach. Hey, Drew. Tell Drew I said hi. Thank y'all. I love y'all so much. Love you too, Michael. Thank you for being here. AW, thank you. Osa, thank you. Brooke, thank you, baby, for being here. My sweet sister. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And as I was preparing for today's topic in mental health and how we were going to go forward, I just could not get past George Floyd and everything that's going on in his life. And I made a video, and I don't know if it was received well by some, but all I know how to do is speak from my heart. Now, the initial instinct, and I can't lie to you, is to retreat to those that look like you, to those that feel what you feel, and get comfort. But in order for anything to change, in order for anything to get better, we have to be willing to be uncomfortable. We have to be willing to have conversations that may offend us, but in the end will bring some resolve. There have been many Facebook posts that state, and I even posted it, you got to choose a side. Like, there's no way you can't choose a side. But I want to be very clear that for me, the side isn't about black and white. The side isn't, it can't just be black and white, because America isn't just black and white. And it seems like it's us that's just being targeted and hunted down. It seems as if it's our lives that just do not matter at all. It seems that no matter how we try to raise our children up properly and give them the proper upbringing, they're still looked at as less than. And unfortunately, those things are true. Like, it had to resonate with me that I'm so thankful for the people that I have in my life that don't look like me, because it keeps me grounded. But for the first time today in a conversation, I had to realize that those people are still the minority. They are the minority of individuals who want to see these divided states become United States. They're rare. And I also realize within myself and within my community, my thought process is rare. Everybody doesn't think like me. Many people are okay with us having our side of the city, them having theirs, and leaving it that way. I'm not. I want to be able to go into any part of this city that I want to go to and nobody think that I'm stealing or doing drugs or I don't belong or I don't fit. I want my Caucasian, Latino, Colombian, Asian brothers and sisters, Native Americans to be able to go into whatever part of the city they want to go into and not feel as if they don't belong. And I can't tell you that we're there yet. My oldest son is dating a Caucasian girl. We live in a majority Black neighborhood. So we have to make sure, even though he's 18 years old and grown, that you get home at a decent time, because he's not driving, she is, so that she's not leaving out of our neighborhood late because it doesn't look right and we don't want to get her pulled over. Though I shouldn't have to say it doesn't look like. It should be okay if she wants to frequent this neighborhood and it not be looked at as, oh, she must have bought some drugs, or she must have been selling herself, because that's the only thing that's good that can come out of this neighborhood for a person that doesn't look like me. Y'all, the level of I've made so many posts that have not been posted because I'm trying to be careful about my words. And It's not super easy. When you think about the number of Black people that have been killed recently, I'm talking recently, for nothing. A Tatiana Jefferson in her home playing a video game with her nephew. There's still a negative spin on it. She had a gun in the room with her. Well, it was her right. It was her home. She had the right to bear arms. But she was killed in her home. When I think about Botham Jean Botham, he was in his home eating cereal, watching TV, when an officer went into the wrong apartment and killed him. And the narrative that was spent behind that was he had weed on the table. Well, do we really know if it was weed or was it hemp? Was it a hemp flower? I smoke hemp flowers. I know they can smell like marijuana. They help with my migraines. They help with my anxiety. So do we know if it was weed? They look the same. So the only way you can tell the difference is if you test it. So was it tested? And there's no quick test. Like the FBI has to send it off. But it was in the papers as soon as it happened. The man who testified turns around and dies, is killed, and it's stated because it was a drug deal gone wrong. Then we have Breonna Taylor, who was in her house asleep. But a warrant was signed, a no-knock warrant, where officers could go to the home in plain clothes to look for her boyfriend, to serve a warrant, ex-boyfriend, shall I say. Her current boyfriend was there to protect his home, their home. He shoots and he goes to jail. But these were plainclothes officers with a no-knock warrant. Doesn't he have the right to bear arms and protect his home? This is all recent. Then you have Ahmaud Arbery jogging. The piece that we know is he went into a home, a construction site, which I know many people, I've done it. My husband and I have done it, have gone into construction sites, looking at the layout, watching homes as they've been built. Some of the homes is because we never know, I won't say never know, but we kind of feel we'll never move into any of those in our lifetime. And we're really okay with it, but it's nothing wrong to go and look and get ideas. But he was stealing, or so they thought. But now we know that he had to duck and dive through houses trying to get away from these individuals that was hunting him. Now we know that there was an interaction between Ahmaud Arbery and the father, Mick Michaels, the one that was standing on the back of the truck as if he was hunting rabbit before now. Hadn't looked at the video of the footage of him being uber, shall I say, disrespectful to the police, according to others, at a different time period. So it has nothing to do with the fact that he was gunned down now, 2 months ago, except for the fact that the father had a part in that as well. So he's gunned down and nothing happens. It's self-defense until the video surfaces. And then that's when justice comes into play. We knew that as much as Rhodey said, I feel horrible, I had nothing to do with that, that wasn't the truth. We knew that wasn't the truth. But yet, that's the stuff we got to deal with. That's the stuff we got to deal with. And the problem that I have is, y'all, the ball keeps moving. It's like we're this is a graph. And it's like So the ball's here, and we make it there, so they move the ball a little bit more. We make it there, the ball moves a little bit more. This is 2020. 2020, where the value of the life of a Black man hasn't changed. And we have to call it for what it is. And we can't keep using the same antidote of until we love ourselves, no one else is going to love us. We've never been taught how to love ourselves. So when you see the riot that's going on in Minneapolis and you're upset and it's, oh my God, they're stealing, they're taking everything. I mean, they're going into those stores. Them people at Target didn't do anything. Them people at that mom and pop store didn't do anything. Guess what that makes a person like me feel like? So you're more angry about something being stolen out of Target than you were about a man laying on the ground as the world watched his breath seep from his body as he's saying, they're going to kill me. As an off-duty firefighter says, check his pulse, let me help. As other cops stand around when all they had to do was tap him on the shoulder and say, I'm gonna put him in my car, I'll book him. We live in a society where for the, I know, last 3 years, heck, maybe longer, that we've been pissy-fi hot because Colin Kaepernick wants to take a knee during the national anthem. How dare he? Even though their second verse is just degrading Black people. How dare he? Disrespecting those who go and fight for our country by kneeling down and doing a peaceful protest. Where is the same outrage for this white man that kneeled down on a Black man and allowed his breath to seep from his body with a motionless face? He didn't give a damn. He did not care. So when you see that continuously over and over and over and over and over again, you begin to think, I'm not worth anything. We're constantly being rejected. If you've ever experienced rejection, then you know it hurts. Rejection is something you don't just get over. Hopelessness. This ain't gonna change. Like both them. Who was first? Tatiana. Both them. Brianna. All in their homes, minding their business, abiding the law. And they're gone. But we don't hear or see this happening to other people. Now, is it the news? Is it the news? Because I know the news can turn a narrative. This I know. The news can turn a narrative. But the narrative wasn't turned when George Floyd was laying on that concrete, unable to breathe. Again, with a move that is legal. So that's the part that I pray that we walk away with tonight. The neck restraint is a legal restraint. That needs to be removed from the curriculum. I'm gonna read the comments. TR, thank you for coming. Also, thank you for being here. Hey, Brooke, thank you for waiting and coming by. I appreciate you. Also, thank you. I'm very cautious about making sure I pronounce people's name correctly. Alicia, and I'm sorry. You're right. My spirit is very heavy. my heart is hurting. My heart is hurting, y'all, at a level that I can't even articulate. My pastor is here. Forgive me if I say I did say damn, I think, and I just said it again. Forgive me. I thank you for praying for us. And here's the thing. I know that as much as I'm hurting, that you're hurting too. And so I thank you for that. Coach, I thank you for being my sounding board. I thank you for being my lever. Like you're what keeps me from literally just going over to the dark side. You and a few others. Derek, thank you for always supporting me. You always say you're late to the party, but I promise you, you are always right on time. Stephanie, my sweet sister, thank you for being here, for supporting me. One thing that I needed to see in the room tonight was white and black people. I need my brown people, my blue, green, all my people. Because I know that though what we live is not the norm, y'all, we got to figure out how to make it the norm. Because this can't keep happening. It's only a matter of time before it's one of our children. And then what? Michael says, again, that's my pastor, you should be welcome and wanted in all parts of our country and in all areas of the kingdom of God. You are welcome in my home, and I know that I am. And wanted in my heart always. And I know that to be true. Derek Williams gave a shout out to Breonna Taylor of Louisville, who I was talking about. Yes, that's what I was talking about. George Zimmerman is still walking free, and that goes back to the law. The day that it was announced that he was going to be charged with first-degree murder, my husband got a bit of excitement, and I said, "No, babe, she charged him with the wrong thing." As much as we wanted him to be charged with first-degree murder, there was no way any prosecutor could prove that he set out that morning with an agenda to kill Trayvon Martin. He should have been charged with something lesser, and it would have stuck. But because it was a first-degree murder, there was no way. And as a people, and when I say a people, I'm talking to all of us, we got to get better about knowing what the law says, knowing what it means, knowing why someone is charged the way they're charged. Just like in this incident here, they can't put a first-degree murder charge on him because the way that the hold is taught to do for a neck restraint, which I think is like the stupidest thing ever. And when you know better, you do better. They are trained to do it to a place of keeping them still, and they're also trained to do it to a place of taking them to unconsciousness. So in all honesty, in his mind, he could have just thought, he ain't dead. I'm just letting y'all think he dead. He's just unconscious. Was it a power play? All in his face. Nobody ever made me believe that it wasn't. But why? Why does it have to be about who has power? Why does it have to be about who's the greatest? Why can't we be great together? Why is it that there were other officers there and not one of them took heed to the pleas of those around them to say, help him to breathe? That says something is wrong. It says something is wrong. Derek named out Sean Bell, Corey Gaines, Yusuf Hawkins, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, John Crawford, Terrence Crutcher, tons of example, Tamir Rice, Rakisha Boyd. And even with all those, he shouldn't have, Tamir Rice, he shouldn't have been playing with nothing that looked like a real gun. The man didn't even give him time, if you look at the video, to put it down. He drove up, hopped out, and shot. And that was a child. If you are that afraid of not making it home, you're in the wrong field. Because I want all cops to make it home. I have family members right now in South Korea. Military police officer. I have a cousin, uncle, 2 cousins, uncle, friends, my husband's frat brothers, my husband's line brothers, police officers. So I'm not anti-cop. No. Police are necessary. But what vetting system are we doing? Because I live in a neighborhood where shooting happens all the time, but I don't see the police all the time. Where's the community policing it? Just this summer, we're in the house, we hear a car accident, we go outside, there's 2 children in the car with their father, who happens to be a Black man. The person who hit them drove off, left. If my husband and I, and as many people that were outside, if my husband and I had not been outside, that would have been a different story. You had 7 to 10 police cars filled with white officers. It was not one Black officer, and I know that there are Black officers at that precinct office. I know it. When I came to my senses, because initially I was just worried about the children in the vehicle and trying to get the dad to calm down, and their mom was on the phone, and the ambulance came to check them out, and it took me saying, getting somebody from our house to take him to go to pick up their mom, and trying to just keep it the atmosphere calm. And then I looked around and I told my husband, I said, have you seen any of them before? He said, no, me either. So I turned around. I said, hi, I'm Aisha. This is my husband, Andre. And we live in that house right there. Oh, and in that house, we have 2 special needs individuals. One is 29, almost 30. And the other, she's 7, she'll be 8. I'd love for you to come over and meet them. Why? So they'll know what's over here. So they'll know what's in our home. But why have I been here 5 years and I've never seen you? We hear shooting 2 to 3 times a week. I got pulled over just a couple of months ago. Right here by my house. It was dark outside. Got a ticket for running the red light. I ran the red light. It was yellow. I thought I was going to make it. I ran the red light. I did. Officer pulled me over, asked for my license and registration. The officer's partner, a white woman, stood on the passenger side of the car with a light shining in at my face with her hand on her weapon the entire time. So there was not a moment for me to relax. There was not a moment for me to catch my breath. I couldn't move because all I could see out my peripheral and my rearview mirror was her standing there with her hand on her weapon and a flashlight in the car. It's just me in a minivan. What was I about to do? And the world is definitely different because this right here, when I wear it like this, I get treated a little different than I do when I straighten it out. There's this automatic assumption that when it's like this, I'm power to the people. And when it's pressed out, I'm not. So I get the ticket and I tell the officer, for her standing like that is real intimidating. And it wasn't necessary. Didn't get the response I wanted. Because in their mind, they got to protect themselves. They got to do what they got to do to make it home safe. But if you're fresh out of the academy and that afraid, that may not be the profession for you. But yet, I have a friend on the fire department who's in a different area of town, and he gets called the N-word often by older women who he's going in to save, or older men that he's going in to help. It's 2020. Why is it still okay? And we can say it's not okay, but if it wasn't okay, it wouldn't continue to happen. If it wasn't okay, more people would be outraged. If it wasn't okay, we wouldn't be so mad about them people in there destroying Target and burning up stores and oh my God, they're and I'm guilty of it. I was old enough when the Rodney King verdict came out, and I remember watching them riot in California, and I remember not understanding why. I'm like, that's stupid. They tearing up their own stuff. That's just dumb. Oh, but years of life will show you if you've already felt like you don't own nothing, you don't have nothing, you ain't worth nothing. And I don't care how much positivity I push out. I don't care how much I say you're worth it. Your life matters. You matter. Black lives matter. We all matter. The America the Great doesn't show people like, and I won't even say they look like me. And if I get my share and I'm the skin tone I am, my God, what happens to my children who are several shades darker? And so tonight wasn't about coming on and preaching or speaking at you or sharing or venting my frustration. Tonight is an opportunity for anybody, white, Black, brown, any culture. Say what you want to say on this platform. Let's talk about it. Help me help you. How can we come together so that this doesn't keep happening? Because here's what's going to happen. And this is me not infiltrating my people. This is not me telling any secrets. This is me telling you from the experience of life that people are gonna get. We're fed up. We're tired. We don't have any more cheeks to turn. The bones are broken. We've tried it every way that you guys have said, try it. And when I say you guys, I mean those. I'm not talking white people or just police officers. I'm talking about even those that were before us that raised us to say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, do what they say. A child does, it should be seen and not heard. We've So if we've done all these things and we're still back at the same place, what can we do? Does it make sense that they're looting? No, it doesn't make sense. Do I agree with them looting? No, I don't agree. I don't agree. I think it's wrong. But is that the big issue? It's not. Is that the pressing issue? Nope, it's not. Because guess what? Talking with my great dad, awesome friend, the person that I can bounce things off of, they got insurance. It'll be replaced. But Gregory Floyd's life can't. A TV being stolen out of Target still doesn't compare to the life that was stolen and America watched be stolen. And this isn't me justifying. I am not justifying it. It is wrong on all accords. But do I have empathy? Yes. Because when you put together rejection, anger, and hopelessness, you're going to get the reactions that you got today. As a people, we're dealing with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And that does not just apply to the military. We're constantly turning on our television and seeing people that look like us, lives being taken by those who are supposed to protect and serve. We even see how with Philando Castile, when he was shot, when he was killed, you could hear the fear in that officer. You could hear the fact that he was threatened. And in all honesty, people, I'm sure my people are going to be like, what the hell is she doing? But I'm just telling the truth. You could hear his fear. You could tell he was afraid. Now, his reason for stopping him, his nose matched, baby, them some good eyes if you can see somebody's nose in a moving car. But was he afraid? Yeah, he bit off something more than he can chew. And didn't even have to be afraid. But guess what? He wasn't white. So guess where he is? Jail. Why is he in jail? Because this is one time we could actually see and hear the fear. Why is he in jail? But others have gotten away with doing way worse. Way worse. I'm sorry. Whew, Jesus. I'm going to go up some. Okay. Derek says, in a flip side case, a black Fresno policeman shot white Dylan Noble, who was lying on the ground. Samuel DeBose, shot and killed by University of Cincinnati campus police. He lied about DeBose. Kizzy Adonis is a black woman and the senior policeman on the scene during the Garner murder. Did nothing and could have. That's a problem. Derek says, I understand that an NBA player suggests that we show some restraint for the animal cop. The word animal, let's talk about that. How often are Black people referred to as animals? How often are other people that are not white people, Caucasian people, my Caucasian brothers and sisters, are referred to as animals? And we got to be real about it, because it's almost a chain of things. You got Black folk who won't act like they better than Hispanics and Latinos, white folks think they're superior to black. Like, we gotta be, in order for any of this mess to get sorted out, we gotta be real about the mess and how messy and nasty and stanky and dirty it is. We can't dress it up. We can't make it look all pretty or a little shiny here, but all the dirt is under the bed. No. We got to be able to have real conversations and not have an attitude. Read on. Stephanie said, girl. Hey, Sandy K. Thank you for coming in. Michael said, hi. That's okay. I've said a few times in the last couple of days. Oh, yeah. Coach, I love you. You know it. Derek, always much respect to you. I love you too, Steph. Hey, Auntie Panita. Sandy K says, I'm not brown, but love has no color. No, love doesn't. Love doesn't have a color. Love is all about action. But here's the thing. I can't keep saying that those that don't look like me love me. And when we're in these type of battles, I don't see those that look like me speak up for what was wrong. One of the greatest things that I love about my relationship with Coach is that we can talk. Like, we can talk. Like, it's not we gotta watch our words talk. We can talk. I can have the friends that I have. He can have the friends that he have. It is what it is. Some of my friends don't fool with white people. Some of his friends, I'm sure, don't fool with black people. But we can talk about that. We can talk about what can we do to make that be make there become a change. But it's not something we can do by ourselves. Black power is one of the most amazing things in the world. And I can say that because I'm a black woman. But black power is so much more, it's so powerful that we don't even realize that united, we're a force to be reckoned with. But greater than black power is united power. When you can stand with your brothers and sisters of all races, all colors, all creeds, all ethnicities, all cultural backgrounds for what is right, that's greater than any power individually segregated by itself. There's nothing to fear. There's enough space in this world for all of us. In order for stuff to change, though, we have to start intentionally doing some things. Some of my white friends need to probably get a membership at the exclusive white club that doesn't say it's whites only, but it's kind of understood. And then invite some of us. Some of my black friends, we need to have a couple of house parties, barbecues, and our regular things. And invite our Caucasian brothers and sisters. And let them bring the damn potato salad. And if the potato salad has raisins in it and you don't eat it, pick it and put it to the side. But let's talk about it. Like, that's the only way stuff is going to change. That's the only way it's going to get any better. We got to be willing to understand each other. We got to be willing to celebrate each other. I should be proud to be a black woman, and my white sister should be just, I'm so proud of my sister for being a strong black woman. And I should be able to look at, I'm so proud of my sister for being a strong white woman. We should be able to celebrate our heritage, our culture. We can't strip that away. That's just like, I'm in Memphis, so I can say this. That's just like the Confederate monuments being taken down. For what? It's history. It happened. Now, the fact that all of a sudden, within the last couple of years, Klansmen decide to have rallies around them, then yeah, now they're becoming a problem. But before that, we can't erase history. History was what it was, and if we don't talk about what history was, then it's going to repeat itself. If we hide and sweep up under the bed everything that history was, it's going to repeat itself. Hey, Art to Space. Thank you for coming. Michael says, scripture says we can only be great together for the kingdom in John 17. And I agree. Penn Pratt says, we've been down this road before with Trayvon Martin. Well, this is worse. This is worse because with Trayvon Martin, we heard a 911 tape. We heard some screaming. Couldn't really tell whose was whose. We heard the expert testimony regarding what transpired. Do I believe, hold on a second, I need to get my charger. Do I believe that Trayvon Martin defended himself? Yes, I do. Do I believe that Trayvon Martin got the best of Zimmerman and he shot him? Yes, I do. Now, at least those are things that we know. Those are things that we could hear. But there's still room for doubt, error. This, I didn't watch it because I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it because it's triggering. And so for Mental Health Awareness Month, that's the one thing I want to talk about. It's triggers. Singing that and watching it over and over and over and over and over and over again, our mind is not built to handle that. That's trauma. You're traumatizing your brain. And I get it. It's hard to step away from because it's total disbelief. Like, really? But let's think about slavery when they would hang and lynch men in front of their families or in front of the other families so that it's understood. Don't try to go nowhere. Or what about Chicken George from Roots when his foot was cut off? Don't try to run away again. Black people have always been used as an example to control other Black people. But where is that white person that's gonna step up, go head to head, face to face with the white person that's racist and call them out on their bullshit? No better word, and I'm sorry. No better word. That's what it's gonna take. I can confront somebody all day long, no problem. I can hold my own. But the words of a person that look like you are always gonna be more valid, more strong, more convicting than coming from somebody else. TC says, God bless you. Thank you. God bless you as well. Penn Price says, police get a chance to get together a story to justify behavior. Absolutely. Thank you so much, TT. Penn Pratt says, we have to cease blaming. Come on now. We have to cease blaming the deceased for police behavior in America and stop defending your grief. And you're right, Aunt. I need to, because I should be able to feel what I feel. And it's a lot of stuff. Anger, I'm hurt, rejection. Like, I still, in as many people that I have around me that don't look like me, I still feel like I don't mean shit to America. America cares nothing about me. They show it to me every time. If I have to go into a social security office, any government office that I have to go into, it's shown. It's shown. You can't speak with confidence because then you're an angry Black woman. Like, what? I'm not even screaming. I'm just comfortable in my own skin. But that makes you an angry Black woman. AW says, haven't watched the George Floyd video yet. Stumbled on Philando Castile video soon after it was posted, and he was killed on Facebook Live and was in a daze the rest of the week. Couldn't do that again. But I still support justice for George Floyd in cases like this, whether they make the news or not. Exactly. And Dre says, and unfortunately, you can imagine how often this happens and not recorded. Exactly, because it's happening too many times and it is recorded. P. Press says, unfortunately, one can lie about what he is thinking and believe, but one's actions tell what one really believes. And I agree. There was a commentator yesterday that didn't look like me. It was one of my Caucasian sisters. She was furious. And she stated that she felt like the man was getting off. And when I looked at the picture, because that's all I could do, I didn't watch a video, and I saw his hand in his pocket, I was livid. Livid. Like he's really okay with this. He's grasping power. Like he feels empowered. And when his fellow officers don't back him, he's gonna feel betrayed by something he feels he's given his life to. This badge that he's of honor, that he swore and took an oath to protect and serve, and in his mind he was protecting and serving. And I don't know how in the hell he think his knee being on a man's neck is protecting and serving over a chick that bounced. Dracio, I love you, but I'm not saying that comment. Derek says, I understand that parts of South Central LA still hasn't bounced back from the 1982 riot. Blacks have no strong economy base like, say, Asians. You never hear of police doing them dirty, but they do. They do. It doesn't make the news, but it happens. That's the other thing. And that's the beauty of coming together with different people that doesn't look like you and having everyday conversations. I'll never forget, I was in a conference meeting and we were talking about the disability community and how to help those who were undocumented children get what they needed. And one of the children were really, really ill, which is why they even came to the country. And the father got pulled over in Bartlett. And instead of getting a ticket and being let go because the child was ill and in the hospital, they contacted the, I can't even think of the name, the people that come pick up people or whatever that are undocumented. So he was sent away. And this mother who already has an ill child is at the hospital having to fend for this child herself. And the lady that was explaining it was Hispanic. And she said, in Bartlett, we just get pulled over for driving brown. And I was like, what? Like, y'all say that too? Because we know we get pulled over for being Black. And it was just like a you too? A bonding moment over being pulled over in a particular part of the city because you don't look a particular color. So it happens to them. They just don't talk about it. They don't feel empowered to talk about it. We got all these different what is it? Latino. Oh God, is it the Memphis Latino? It's something where they have a coalition, and as much as they're, and not just they, because I know mentors who don't look like me that go and try to help empower and teach everyone to advocate for themselves. And some just won't. Derek says the only real power, sadly, the move stuff in a Judeo-Christian capitalist society like this is money. It's claimed that we have trillions in buying power, but what are we buying? Okay, the black dollar is a mighty dollar. But is it a white person's fault that we're not spending it appropriately? Like some stuff we got to take claim for. Some stuff we have to the Bible says, and I know I told y'all, like, I can't help it because I know it. My people perish for lack of knowledge. If we're not telling each other and we're not communicating with each other how to make money grow, how to do stocks and bonds, I worked in a bank for I don't know how many years, went from a financial service rep to a branch manager. Black people do not trust the bank. And again, because of history and Black Wall Street, I understand why. How do we progress forward? Every Black person in America, I believe, knows about a sock drawer. And forgive me, my ancestors, if I've given away our secret. Because the sock may not be in the drawer. But everybody got a sock. We all got a sock. Stephanie said truth. Thank you. Pen Press said, let's not get distracted by the expression of grief. Amen. And yes, and that's the, yes. To my brothers and sisters that don't look like me. How about that? That way I encompass everybody. I get it. They're rioting. They're looting. They're stealing. It doesn't make sense to you. I don't agree with it. However, I understand it. If you already feel like you're nothing, they like, how many times have you heard over the last month, it's open season for Black people. It's hunting season for Black people. Like, we're people, we're not animals. Derek says, the African has been thoroughly brainwashed by missionaries in whips, in chains, to hate themselves worldwide, real proper light. Okay. Then how do we, as individual, I still think, I mean, the Bible says 70. My mom made it to 57. I pray that I can make it further than that, but I'm 42. Yeah, I'm 42. So I have 8 years. Well, no, I'll be 43 this year. So I have 7.5 years till I'm 50. And then, so I got about 14.5 more years on this earth, possibly, you know, if I make it to my mom's age. I'm praying I make it further. But let me just get there first. What can I do in the next 14.5 years to make a difference so my children don't have to be faced with some of this? And it's not retreating back to my people to regroup. We can't regroup alone because we don't even all think alike. We have color issues within our own society. I don't like her because she light skin. I don't like him because he dark skin. She thinks she all that because he think, like, the number of times that I had to prove my Blackness simply because I was light doesn't make sense to me. And Lord knows it didn't make sense for my mother, my aunts, my cousins. But you're not Black enough. If you don't speak, if you ain't saying, no, man, we ain't about to go do da 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 da, you're talking proper. What is proper? It's English. Whatever dialect or accent you have with it, hey, but it's English. It's not proper. It's English. Pen Press says the real issue is the underlying systems that continue to support beliefs about whites and non-whites as defined in America. And I agree. And if we're going to be totally honest, we got to look at it like that. We have to look at it like that. And we got to call each other out on some of that stuff. We have to. If we're not, like, how can we celebrate our differences if we don't even get to know what the differences are and become okay with what the differences are? Derek says, no real repair done for sons of slaves after slavery, or the biases, subtle the otherwise, from those in the dominant society. Michael says right here. Derek says, Professor Andrew Hacker, author of Two Nations, told Bev Smith on BET's Our Voices back in the 90s that the white man will never yield or cede any power to anyone but them. Damn good book. Here's the thing, and maybe that's the conversation we need to have. I ain't looking for no power. I just want to be free to be me. I'm pretty sure if you ask majority of individuals, ain't nobody trying to run nothing. We just want to be free to be us, free to live, free to go to the store, free to come back home. So I don't know that the power issue is with Black people. And that's going to cause a self-reflection check, because the white privilege exists. And white people got to be willing to say white privilege is a thing. It's not some boogeyman, though it feels like it. It's real. It exists. It exists. Pen Price says, what would happen if those who are like-minded about humanity would become engaged in the political... Yes! Step to the ballot. I'm sorry, I didn't even get to read the full thing. She said, what would happen if those who are like-minded about humanity will become engaged in the political process by voting in people who are likewise? I wore this shirt today just for that reason. Half of the stuff that happens to us, and it's okay, is because it's law. We don't teach our children how to shoot guns. As a matter of fact, when I was coming up, we had McGruff, the crime dog. We were taught guns were not safe. We didn't need to touch them. We didn't need to have them in our homes. All the while, we had other societies teaching their children how to hunt, how to shoot a gun, what to do with a gun. If the apocalypse come, how to protect the house, how to protect the land. We can't fault anybody for some of this stuff. Like, when we know better, we got to do better. We have to do better. And if we don't know the law, it's imperative to know the law. Like, I had a whole child. God had to give me a whole special needs baby for me to understand the importance of knowing the law, not just special needs law, not just IDEA or 504s. You need to know the law for your state, for your city, for your county, whatever state you're going to visit. If you carry a gun, does your gun license transfer to that particular state? If you're vacationing, everything. You need to know if the state you're going into has a stand your ground law. What does that law look like? What does it entail? Because the only way we can do this thing better is if we get better as a people on knowing the stuff that we need. And once we know it, okay, we don't keep it for ourselves in our back pocket. We share it. We help each other. We help each other. Stephanie says, Aisha, you're right. You have every right to be angry without a label. I'm an angry white woman, and that is not okay. And you know what? Be angry, sugar. I know, baby. Derek says, I'm in the medical field. I said medical. Lord help me. That's how y'all know I done got upset. My brain has been so, like, words have not been coming out today. I'm surprised that I just did this. Derek says, I'm in the medical field, and they show enough shook about hospitals. The answer is easy but hard. We need economic power, self-love, and ethnic intestinal fortitude. The problem, in my view, executing all that. We would raise giants of our children. We could raise giants of our children, but looking around, hard to see it coming to fruition. Fingers crossed, though. Freedom, real freedom, is what you said. You just want to be. Anarchy is not a bad word, but in the current system where we're in, power is the only game in town, in my view. AW says, our country, unfortunately, is built on seeing people of color have power as unacceptable, including the power to just be ourselves. It doesn't matter, though. And Derek says, society could be a sort of utopia on this side of heaven, but humans getting down like they do, we have a propensity for making the earth into a graveyard, like Rod Sterling said in The Twilight Zone. And I agree. We could have a utopia. The truth of the matter is, for my husband and I, though we've gone through some things as far as health-wise and losing some people, we would probably say that our world is a utopia, because we're very intentional about making sure we have a diverse environment. And even with this, I'm not going to let it change. Even when I feel my worst of the worst, and I don't know who it was, but when I feel black, I don't run to, well, let me back up. I don't always run straight to somebody that looks like me. Sometimes I run to somebody that doesn't look like me, because I know that the person that looks like me is feeling what I'm feeling. And if our two fires rub together, some might pop off wrong. So it's best for me to talk to the person that doesn't look like me, but that's going to allow me to be me and say what I want to say. They say what they want to say. We can have a great dialogue about it, and we both can walk away with a different understanding. That's what change looks like. Somebody has to be willing to listen, to talk to somebody that doesn't look like them. I was told today in talking, I found out that one of my friends that doesn't look like me is experiencing racism right now, greatly, because everything that's going on in the world, he's been put right in the same category with every racist white person. And every white person is not racist, just like every black person isn't racist. I know we think that black people can't be racist, and that has been told to me several times because we didn't create it, but it does. I used to tell my mama all the time, "Mama, you being a racist." And she didn't have an issue with white people, but there were some people that she had an issue with, and I'd have to call her out on it, and she'd get mad at me. But towards the end, she stopped saying it, or she stopped having those conversations around me, because I called it for what it was. And I would always say, there's probably some white person saying the exact same things about us that you're saying about them. Until we can put ourselves in each other's shoes and look at life differently, because when he told me that, all I could think about was my husband experiences that every day. I experience it every day. It's happening to you in this season, but it's just a season for you. For us, it's life. But no, it's valid because I know his heart. I know his heart. And so I know that hurts him, especially when he's poured everything he can into a society, a sector of people, hoping that what he's poured into them will make a difference. Not doing it out of a hero complex, but truly out of love, out of wanting to make a difference. So I know it hurts him. And all I can still say is, I know that hurts you. It's not a great feeling. I feel it too. It happens to me too. Welcome to the club. At least we can win it together. You're still my family. Y'all, I don't know how I talked this long, but I guess I did. I'm finna drop the link in the chat for anybody that wants to come in and say some words. I'm literally, what do they call it? Why is this thing not working? I am literally all, I won't say cried out, because I'm not all cried out. Like, I'm just so, yeah. As I put the link in the chat, let me go ahead and talk about our business for the week this week. It is Rolling in Dough. I started working on their video. It'll be on the page. I got away from it today. I don't have my mask with me, but if you look on the previous videos, there's a mask. I'm going to put that link, both of those links in there. I have the video up probably tomorrow of the commercial. I put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to join me, come in and say something. P and Pratt, expand on that. She says there are layers of love. Expand on that. Whew. Is y'all praying for me? Because y'all, my heart has been doing some things. Oh my God. Oh my God. But I'm determined to love through this, and I mean it. And anybody that comes around me, I feel that we need a revolution. I've said that from the start of this channel, but that revolution can't be black and white. It has to be right and wrong, because America isn't just black and white. It's right and wrong. Like, let's change the dynamic. My aunt said it best when, and it was one other person, like, relanguage is stuck in my head. We gotta relanguage some stuff. Oh, thank you, Coach. We gotta relanguage some stuff. We gotta change our mindset. Because if you said today, or if anybody said today, and I can say this without, that's when you saw the rioting. If the first thing you thought was, that's why nobody can take them serious, this is why this type of stuff happened, this is taken away from the big picture. If that riot, and I don't care how bad it was, like, I don't even know if the city of Minneapolis is still over there. Is the city, state, Indiana? It's Indiana and Minneapolis. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if the city's still over there. The city could be burned down to the ground. And if you're saying that that's worse than a man in an 11-minute video losing his soul about 4.5 minutes in, and I didn't watch it, but I know for a fact when he called for his mother, who is dead and had been dead for 2 years, that was him taking his last breath. And that man's knee was on his neck still an additional 4 minutes after. And I'm gonna say allegedly, because again, I ain't seen the video. I've read articles, but I can't I'm not gonna make, each time I slide by something and I hear him breathe, or I hear I can't do it. I'm triggered by it. In our community, they don't even know they're triggered by it. They don't even know that we need, like, America needs therapy. We need to know how to process this. So what do you do when you angry? And let's just be where there's some ladies on here like, I ain't never did it. But I mean, I've gotten angry. I ain't never bust no windows out no car. And I ain't gone Jazz and Sullivan. But I've gotten to a point of anger before with a boyfriend where I wanted to. I could say I got mad enough one time that I caught him cheating on me that I put him out his own car and took the girl home that he was cheating on me with because I ain't had no problem with her. She didn't know about me. He knew about me. Was that stupid? Yes. I ain't know if that girl had a gun, knife, or nothing. Just dumb. I was young and dumb. But I was angry. I felt rejected. I felt used. I felt abused. So I reacted. And that's what's happening. And if all you hear is because here's the thing, the stuff that's being stated on television, and I don't know what those things are, but the things that are being stated on television regarding the riots, because I can only imagine how, oh my God, look at this. This makes no sense to me. They're tearing up their own neighborhoods. No, it's not their neighborhood. This ain't my neighborhood. This is America's neighborhood. I don't own nothing. This is according to the way this runs. Because if I try to protect myself in here, I can go to jail. So if they don't feel cared for, if they don't feel loved, they don't feel wanted, what do you expect? This is years of, hold on, I'm not going to even say years. Y'all, this is months. Hi there, Miss Aisha. We would like to say thank you for the continuous support. May God bless you. Let's keep supporting one another. I agree. Thank you. Dre, why did you say, oh my? Oh, it wasn't Dre. It wasn't Dre. He probably just now hearing about the story. It wasn't Dre. Yeah. Y'all. I didn't know I had this much to say. I am going to put the link in one more time to give anybody an opportunity to come and say something different. I would love to hear from somebody that doesn't look like me. Coach can laugh because he kind of knew me in my hot days. Like there were days, yeah, what y'all see today, honey, this is why I know there's a God. And he shines down on me. And the fact that I'm more aware. I know when I feel something that ain't right. And I know the steps I need to take to make me better. The worst thing I can do in this time is to retreat to what I would consider my safe haven or with those that look like me. Derek says, you are a very nice human being, Aisha. Bless your heart. Derek, you are too. And you're a wealth of knowledge. And I love when you actually come on and you speak because, again, you always bring a different perspective. And I walk away with something different. My heart is heavy. And it's been heavy. Something about that we also need to think about is when these instances occur, it doesn't just affect the victim that lost their life. Tatiana Jefferson, when she passed away or was killed in her home, her father had to do a lawsuit to try to be a part of burying his daughter. Her mother was already ill in the hospital. Maybe a month and a half after he buried his daughter, he died. That was his only child. And I'm sure he had a broken heart. Maybe a month and a half after he died, her mother died. Killing her that day didn't just affect her. I pray that her nephew is in some type of therapy. Because if he's not, can you imagine his feelings towards the cops? Can you imagine him never feeling safe ever again? Can you imagine the neighbor across the street and the regrets that he has for just calling the cops? Can you imagine, even with the store owner and me hearing, because again, I didn't watch it, the store owner coming out saying, I'm the one that called the police, let up, you're doing a jiu-jitsu or whatever move on him. A jitsu, I think it's what's called. Allegedly, because I didn't watch the video. I'm going off of what I heard. But can you imagine the guilt that he has tonight? What's going to happen to his two children? Who's going to make sure that there's a dad there for a father-daughter dance? Who's going to make sure that there's a dad there if they're boys at any sports or music or whatever events they have, graduation, prom? Who's going to do that? Who's going to take responsibility for that? I don't know. You know, I look at Ahmaud Arbery's mom and how she speaks with great strength and peace. But I know that having seen, well, she said she hadn't seen the video. She didn't look at it. And I can't blame her. I think, but the fact that she pushed and pushed and pushed to try to get some answers. And the fact that she may or may not get the justice she's hoping for. But I'm praying that every house on this street has a camera. And I'm praying that every neighbor turned it over so that she can know what truly transpired with her son. It's so easy to sit back on the other side and commentate. Why did he run from the gun? Well, from my understanding, he had already been ducking and dodging in between houses, trying to get away from them. We can't blame the dead. We can't blame the dead. So, white America, I issue a challenge to you. Many talk about reparations and money and the fact that America has the money to pay us for things that our ancestors have done, and that being on the same socioeconomic level will even out some things. But I don't agree with that. I think the true reparation, and this is Aisha, this is my unprofessional opinion, I'm not certified in this. I think the only true reparation is white people standing up in a place of power, taking the hand of a black and brown individual, pulling them up with you, and saying, this is my brother, this is my sister, and I will not tolerate you making them feel any less than family. That's true reparations. And we proceed from there. Because every white person in America isn't rich. Every black person in America ain't poor. So it's not about an imbalance of money. It is an imbalance of knowledge. It is an imbalance of education. And those are all things that can be controlled by white people in offices and helping us vote people in office that's going to look out not only for the elite population, but that's going to look out for the least of these as well. I got my brother Derek here on the line. Alicia says, I'm sorry, let me go back. Dre says, unfortunately, it's a feeling so many young black men feel towards police already because of the treatment they've experienced. Yes. And do y'all know the songs? I was thinking, what was it? F the Police. That was out, I want to say, was it 90s, 2000? Drake, can you type in the list of songs that are out there that are against the police just because of stuff that happened years ago? These songs were written years ago. AW says, in family counseling for the U.S., non-people of color need to be at the front, not just supporters as previous civil rights movement, but mainstream and dinner table, etc., holding each other accountable. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, brother.
Shout out and respect due to Aisha of Memphis. What's good with you, girl?
I'm here. I'm here.
Well,
Trying to
bless you.
make it.
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback off of what Dre CEO said about the anxiety and I guess the hurt of young black people with regards to policing.
Mm-hmm.
When you see black people gloating at a white cop getting shot in Dallas, Texas a few years ago at the gas station, they love that stuff. We love that stuff. For the simple fact you've had all of these unresolved cases of black people
Mm-hmm.
being murdered, shot dead like dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get an occasional white boy shot in the head, what you're saying, you're not going to get you because you're not even with that as heinous as that is, you can't account for all of the black men and black women that have been strung up, castrated, breasts cut off, men's genitals cut off with
Mm-hmm.
little kids after a Sunday afternoon in church.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot account for all that. So if you see a white guy that get ambushed, small price to pay because all the black blood that has been spilled in this country. So you're gonna always have it. And actually, 1988, Straight Outta Compton was released by NWA, and
Mm-hmm.
on that album was After
F
Police.
the Police.
Yes, that
Mm-hmm.
was 1988. And actually, I should give you a little history. When that song came, when that album came out,
Rodney
most
King.
most people in my peer group when Straight Outta Compton came out, because I'm a few years older than you.
Mm-hmm.
When the album came out, that mortified us because nobody prior to that was ever talking like that. Even though they was talking the truth, it was actually scary. And
Mm-hmm.
everywhere they went, it was a famous time when NWA had went to Detroit, and the police was going to I think they were going to Joe Louis Arena in Detroit because Ice Cube and them talk about is that they ended up they were detained
Mm-hmm.
and the show didn't go on if memory serves.
I remember
So
that.
but it was because at that time, that's just stuff that wasn't talked about.
Mm-hmm.
That just was not talked about it in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you would have KRS. Well, that came a little bit later with Sound of the Police. I think that was like '93. But there's a ton of songs of resistance. But I would
Good
just say like
officer.
to Dre CEO's point that you're gonna have that because you have a people that have no power. And the only thing they can do, your chat blocked it out. So I'll say it now that I got you. What it is that The only thing a powerless people can do is loot a Target, burn
Mhm.
down the store.
Mhm.
That's really all they can do. But
Mhm.
they ain't gonna dare. They ain't gonna dare. It with all the rage they got, they wouldn't dare storm City Hall. They wouldn't
No.
dare storm the police office,
Mm-mm.
the police station, because the police got them new toys, like this thing
Mhm.
called a long range acoustic device.
Mhm.
LRAD gun is what they call it.
Mhm.
The army, and I think some the bigger police departments have it, but they actually have a crowd dispersal thing with a ray gun attached on it. So you get microwaves beamed at you. So that's a good crowd dispersal tool. So they
Mhm.
actually itching. They actually itching. See what it is? They got us coming and going. Because on the one hand, you don't have no power. They know that.
Mhm.
And then you want to strike, you want to lash out at Target. So they'll let you, blow off some steam like the black mayor in Baltimore said, which what I thought was a stupid comment. At the same time, I understand why they do it. But when you burn down stuff, you still have not accomplished anything. So that's like the black mayor said during the Freddie Gray case. Oh, they just blowing off steam. But goods and services that black people vitally need, you ain't gonna get them now because the white people that own the CVS, they ain't gonna be too keen to want to come back and build there. Just like
Mhm.
in parts of South Central LA, where I understand that was 1992. That's
Mhm.
28 years ago, and parts of LA still ain't been revitalized. So you're actually losing in your anger, and so the problem far as rioting, I agree with you 100%. Black folks is just angry, but the only thing they really can do is burn down a store. That mean in the final equation, that's really all they got because they
And that's
ain't
what I was
gonna.
saying. You ain't got what else do they have? You don't have nothing else. And it's not just black people. Let's be clear. There are all types of people out rioting, but you
Well,
don't
they are,
own
but they're
nothing.
doing it. Yeah,
They
but see,
don't.
they
You.
doing it on the fields of a. But the quote good whites are joining the blacks after a black man gets killed at the hands of a white person. And I would say, where are those same white people when we kill ourselves? You can make that argument as well. But they tend to come out more so, at least in my life, that I done seen, is when you have an unjust killing by a white person of a black person. Well, these same people with good intentions for a murder can also have the same good intentions with regards to us getting businesses in Black America, having a better standard of education in the Black neighborhood, having a better political stand in circles of power. Because
Mhm.
this, like I wrote in the chat, that's the only game in town. Yes, in theory, I agree with everything you said, but in everyday practice, it really comes down to what influence do you got. And black people, as a rule, we don't have no influence. If you notice, China run everything. The Asians don't have no problem here. We don't have that counterpart from Africa to help us, or do we reach over to them as a coalition of an economic, social, political bloc to try to get the white man up off of us? And so we pretty much on our own. But I do agree with you 100%. The reason why you see lootings every time these folks, one black person get killed, is because that's really all. That's the only bargaining chip they got, and that's not even really a bargaining chip. That's just, as the mayor said, just blowing off steam.
Mhm.
And there will be another case in 2 years.
Let me say two things. Two things in rebuttal to you. The first one is about the cop. I'll never celebrate white, black, anybody life being taken.
I
I don't
agree.
feel that anybody in 2020 should have to pay for the blood of their ancestors. And truth be told, if that's the case, I'm 20% Finland. So what does that say about me? What does that say about my ancestors? Where does that take me?
Well,
You're
the problem is
finished.
what you said when you were stopped. They didn't look at the 20% finish. They
They couldn't
looked at
see
the
it.
right, and
Mm-hmm.
they ain't trying to. They look at more of the African in you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. Actually, we got a little bit of everything. I think everyone will acknowledge the fact that the African started civilization. The black man was here first, and he
Mm-hmm.
went on out and peopled the planet. And you have all these other quote races, and we have been race mixing since we've been here. But the problem in our society is that when that white man with that badge see you, he don't look at your totality. He look at what he can see on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
This is in, as they say, this is in our country's DNA. I forgot who said that, but that's essentially what we have. And I don't know if we'll ever right the ship. I wish we could. I
We
wish we
can.
could.
We
We
have
should.
we have the ability, and that's the other part that I was going to say. We
Mhm.
have the ability, but it takes a man. So I'll use you for example. When it comes to history, you know your history. Um, you know your history. Other countries' history. You just a history buff. But it takes a man like you being willing to be open minded and have a conversation with a man that don't look like you, but not only have a conversation with a man that doesn't look like you, form a relationship with a person that doesn't look like you. Because here's what happened. When you form relationships with people that don't look like you, and I can say this because within the last 5 years, that's when I've been very intentional about making sure that my life, I've never been racist. I just live life how I live life. But I was like, wait, if I want to like my life to look like this, I have to really make my life look like this. But in that time, it allowed me to form friendships with people that don't look like me, that people I typically probably wouldn't have a friendship with. And also what it did was when DACA was marching for the kids having dreams, who guess where I was? Out there with them carrying a sign because they matter to me. When Lord, who was it? A law, or when even the commander in chief speaks ill of those coming from Mexico in other countries, it hurts me. Why? Because I know people from there that I love, that not that I just like or interact with, but that I love. And so you have like it has to start at home in order for you to be able to feel, have empathy, sympathy, understand where they're even coming from. I like the idea that a white person could call me today and say, now, okay, now, what happened was horrible, but this looting is taken away from the bigger issue. And we could have a real conversation about, is it really? Do we care more about the TV coming out of Target or more about the breath that came out of this man? They stole his
But
life.
that right, but see, that's where the privilege come in, and see, that's where good white folks gonna have to let that go, and they ain't gonna let it go. 9 times out of 10, when you hear cases like this, that is the first thing that come up. They
We're
tearing up
guilty
everything.
of it though. We're guilty of it. I said
Well,
it,
we
and I
are.
was a kid
We,
when the Rodney came. I was like, "That's stupid. They
well,
gotta
we are.
live there." But we're guilty. And the
We
other
are.
thing is, we gotta stop saying, "Well, they don't speak up when we're killing each other." Hey, we ain't over there speaking up when they kill each other. There's no such thing as black on black crime. There's no such because we don't hear white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime, Hispanic on Hispanic crime. We don't hear that. So we
Well,
gotta stop saying some of this stuff about ourselves.
well, see, I say that. Well, and I should have been more clear. Those who have the power, or like what Spider-Man's uncle told him, with great power comes great responsibility.
Uh-huh.
And because of all the wrongs that have been put on black people, it's incumbent upon them to try to make it more right. So when I said what I said, I was speaking in that vein, but I should have been more specific. No, black people need to take care of themselves, and they don't need to be tearing up every damn thing. But they tear up because they ain't got no power. Now, they ain't got no power, and that's the part where many people in the dominant society they don't want to get on that. They don't
They
want to
say
touch that.
for the
That's
imagination.
that's that's third rail politics right there. They don't want to talk about that. And when you find those that do, they are in the minority. They definitely not gonna make the news.
They're not the majority. Like today was my first time saying it, and I was on the phone. I was talking to I call him my dad, but he's my coach, but he's my dad. And I was like, it's unfortunate because people like you and those that are in my life are really the minority. And it's true. So how do we, and like I said, it's going to take them. I got to be okay with him being friends with a Republican. I need to be okay with him being at a white, a quote unquote white only's club, having a membership there so that he can invite me in, even though it's really not white only and it ain't said nowhere on the wall white only, but it's understood as white only. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be okay with him being able to rub arms with somebody like that, so that when I do come in, you got the door for me to come in. And I don't know if you was here when I said that, we got to be okay with inviting them to the barbecue and eating the damn potato salad. Pick the raisins out and put them to the side if we don't want raisins in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta, in order for it to, we have to be able to celebrate each other. I should be able to be a strong Black woman and be like, hey, my Caucasian sister, yeah, baby, you working it today. I like that hair color, girl. Go. I should be able to do that.
I agree. That's what I was saying. I agree with everything you said in theory. And until we get some practices jumping off, that's all we got is a theory. And how
do you, a man filled with knowledge that stands firmly on it, we got to do reparations, we got to do this, we got to do that. How do you make the compromise? Or do you not make the compromise and you stand on what you know and you expect other person?
That's the thing. Well, no, like I tell the same thing I say to you, I say in TR's stream as well. I'm all for the family of man. That's what I'm about. And I have no problem coalition building with anybody. But I also know that, again, I don't think that it's all encompassing it's all on us. The best I can do as being a YouTube content creator, I'm just speaking for the internet, is give support, do my support videos and put out information for all. And you be you plaid. You can be plaid as far as I'm concerned. I hope it adds value. If you notice in many of my videos, I said so long as I add value, because information, the good thing about information, that there is no color in it. It's just like you said, it's either right or it's wrong. The information I put out can be vetted, is manifestly provable, and that's what I'm on. You know, see, because it really is kind of funny to say, well, look, I got white friends. I just got friends, and that should be that. That should just be that.
I agree.
But like I said, I always want to, because when you had these conversations, we always had to keep, in my opinion, we always have to keep on the front burner, where is that Black people did not ask to be in the place that they are. They have been thoroughly brainwashed. They thoroughly hate themselves. They do not do what they need to do. Now, there is a Republican thing, what I'm about to say, in the sense that, yes, you have to pick yourself up off your bootstraps, but if you ain't got no boot,
you can't do it.
That's an issue. So we have to go back to the beginning. How did it begin this way? And that's where the uncomfortable part come in. I'm all for having that conversation. And that's the reason why, like I said, again, on my channel, I just put out information as is. You take it or you leave. So,
but let me say this though, because the pulling up from the bootstraps, or as far as the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, I struggle with that. I've struggled with it all my life, because I don't feel like I should have to be a part of a party. I feel like I should be able to vote whichever line I want to vote. This person might be a Republican. This person might be a Democrat. This person, I should be able to vote off of what I believe is right and best for our community.
They've been telling us all back in high school, vote your conscience. But once again, when the rubber hit the road, it's well known that the Democrats and the Republicans, they do everything they can to dissuade you from third-party voting. So you back in the game of
choices. We just had this conversation. Yes,
it's this one and that one. And so until we break that back, I'm just as lost as you. I know for myself, I simply try to go where the truth takes me. And the truth and information that can be proven has no color. That's where I am.
So hold on. Taste Buds from Philly, since you're from Philly, says, hey, Taste Buds. She says, the issue can't be addressed properly if there is not a political platform with a microphone and a board member behind the scenes that is willing to speak out for those not being heard. Coach says it's location and proximity crime to me. And that's what crime is. It's not about white on white, black on black. Hey, it's not about that. But here's the thing. When you got somebody, and I agree with Taste Buds fully, but when you got somebody like me, I've gone to DC. I've gone to Capitol Hill. I've stood up. I've spoken. I've screamed out. I've talked. I've even here in Memphis. I've advocated. I worked hard to get a school shut down, a charter school shut down, not just because it was charter, but because they wrote the charter and wasn't following their own daggum charter. But you're not looked at. I'm not looked at as a woman of confidence, strength, an advocate. It's angry black woman. She always got a chip on her shoulder. Like God has literally blessed me with I'm able to see things from every viewpoint, and I can't. It's almost to my detriment because somebody black gonna call me sold out. Somebody's white gonna see me as being too real, too harsh. When all I know how to be is me, and I can see it from all areas. But then it looks like she the one that's always pointing out the problem. It's always she negative. When it's not even negative, it's trying to stop the problem before it starts.
Well, pointing out the problem is the problem in our society. We just got a lot of.
And I'm not gonna bring you a problem without a solution. Like I'm the person that's gonna show you the problem and give you a solution, and what you do with it is on you.
I agree. Yeah.
But I don't just say, here, you need to fix it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna go on a step.
I definitely agree with Taste Buds. Oh, Taste Buds Philly, look up, y'all connect. Taste Buds, I don't know if you're friends with Derek on Facebook, but Derek C. Williams. He has a channel, he puts out great content.
Well,
get some of her food and then tell me if it's good or not.
Well, just let me. Well, I'll say this, and then I'm gonna step off with regards to the social media. I have a self-imposed ban with Facebook and Instagram for the statements that Mark Zuckerberg said at the beginning of Facebook's maiden voyage. I found out some stuff he said, and he never apologized for it, and so for that reason, I'm not on Facebook or Instagram, but I am on YouTube. I just found a new censorship-free, unlike FBI book called allsocial.com. I just joined that platform yesterday, and it's much like Facebook. They're not going to censor you. So when you post stuff, they're not gonna mess with you. I'm also on LBRY or Library, LBRY, which is another censorship-proof blockchain-based platform. So if you do upload videos on YouTube, they are immediately migrated to Library. So even though I should tell you, I've had about I'll be on YouTube 2 years in July. I've had about 12 videos that have been removed from YouTube, not because I was calling for violence or anything like that. It's just that they don't want you to just say what they don't want you to bring out facts as they are. In fact, I did the video with Susan Wojcicki saying that they're going to take down videos that don't go with authoritative sources. I got an email from YouTube saying that they were going to remove that. Go right ahead, have at it, because it's already stored on LBRY. So that's where I am. I'm not on Facebook at all. Like I said, it's a self-imposed ban since 2010. I don't bang with Facebook at all. So that's pretty much all I want to say. And thank you for taking my call.
No, thank you for calling in. You always bring a great perspective, and I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Love all right,
you take care. You take care of yourself, man.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So AW says, that's discernment or being prophetic. Isha, those are some of the most needed people and can be some of the least well received. What you said, I fully agree. Dre CEO put the songs out. Well, let me go back. P. and Pratt stated there are layers of love, and I asked her to expound, and she said, as there are layers of issues inside of you, layers need to be healed. more healing, more genuine love, more being yourself. And I agree. Dre came back with the songs. He said Crooked Officer, Cop Killer by Ice-T. AW said Tupac Changes. And so this music was all in the like 90s, I believe. Like that's just wild. And here we are in 2020, where we had one incident with Rodney King back in the 90s and this big span, and then the next thing you know, bam, now we're back to back. So what I would say, I will put the link up just in case anybody wants to come in one last time. But what I will say is this. Y'all, we're hurting. And if anybody from any other race sees this, we're hurting. We've had, I can't even tell you the amount just in the last 2, 3, 4 months, from Breonna Taylor to Ahmaud Arbery to George Floyd. That's a lot to process. And if we're talking about a riot that happened in 92 and this one is looking as bad as that riot, let's talk about the list of people that we've seen murdered, unarmed, not dangerous. And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not going to speak on a situation. If wrong is wrong and right is right, I don't care the color of the skin. I don't care. But if I can see Dylan Roof walked out of a church or wherever he was, but he had just killed 9 people in a church after sitting in Bible study with them, saying, I really didn't want to do it after that because that was nice to me. But he not only got walked out, a bulletproof vest was placed on him to keep him safe, and he was taken to get a sandwich. All Gregory Floyd asked for was an opportunity to breathe. And it's eerily similar to Garner saying, I can't breathe. How many I can't breathe is it going to take before we get it? I want to get ahead of this outcry, because this is an outcry. It's an outcry. And we're already kind of behind the ball for those of us that want to see unity, for those of us who want to come together. We got to put something in motion, because if we don't, we're going to be forced to choose a side. I don't want to be faced with that choice. I don't want to be faced with that choice. I don't want you to be faced with that choice, because human nature is to choose what you're comfortable with. Derek says, gotta love white privilege with the Charleston shooter. I don't understand how a man could kill 9 people and not be looked at as threatening. I just don't. I don't understand how he can be rewarded with a sandwich. I don't understand it. Have a good night, Taste Buds from Philly. I'm actually about to get off. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all, please check out Rolando. I'm going to actually get the video for her Boba Bistro, and I'm going to try to do one for I Am Journey with the mask. Thank y'all for coming in and talking with me. I would like to say that I feel a little better. I would have loved to have heard from, well, thank you in the chat for coming in the chat and speaking. And I'm going to figure out how to get a phone line system going too, in the event that people want to call in. And we can kind of work on it from there. But I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to see everybody show up. I'm grateful to see everybody to come in to talk. The goal for this channel is always to be an open, free channel where we can talk about things. We may not always agree, but we can talk about things. I love that Derek comes on and speak, and I just see already what God is doing there, and I'm grateful for it. Yeah, I just the goal has always been to encourage, empower, inspire, uplift, even in the darkest moments. And so I thank y'all for even watching the video prior to this and allowing me to say how I felt, even though I censored it some. I thank you for allowing me to be myself tonight with no judgment. I'm not changing anything. The words I said were the words I said. Cussing ain't kept nobody out of heaven, according to the preacher that preached. And I believe my mama in heaven, and she cussed like a sailor. And thank you, Auntie. I send love back to you. My husband put like, share, and subscribe. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I thank y'all so much for just, again, allowing me just to be myself. I do have my shirt on today that says step to the ballot. And y'all, we got to vote. Like, stop allowing people to say our vote don't count. Stop allowing people to tell you our vote doesn't matter. It matters. Like, I can't stress enough, the more I learn about law, the importance of having people, not just in a Democratic Party that you know and that you love, but in a Republican Party that you know and that you love. And that may sound so crazy, but until we come together and we can have a Libertarian Party or a Green Party and they can actually be supported, we're working with two evils here. And so to not vote is voting, whether you realize it or not. You've made a choice to let whoever win without and you've given consent because you just said you go ahead. Basically, not voting is like, what do y'all want to eat? I don't know. I'm gonna just eat whatever you bring back. That's not voting. And so that means the day after election, I'm just gonna take whoever they put in office. I'm gonna roll with that. So you didn't agree, but you gotta eat. So you agreed. So vote. Your vote matters. I love y'all. To those of y'all who I haven't seen because of the coronavirus, I love you. We'll do some Zooms or something soon. What I do know, and I've said time and time again, Derek says, respect due to a damn good human being. I'm gonna step aside to handle business. Did a support video for you. I told you I was, and I hold my word. A little commentary, but you did all the talking. Well, I thank you. I'll definitely go check that video out, and I'll share it back out. Y'all, I'm not gonna let situations like this, like when things like this happen, y'all can expect these conversations. And it's not because I'm trying to be a part of the hype, or it's because of who I am. And I've been an advocate all my life, not just for people that look like me, but I've always rooted for the underdog. I've always been the one that stood up to the bully. That's just who I am. And I am finally okay with being me. And I'm thankful for the people that God has placed in my life that allows me to be me and encourages me to just be me. So with that being said, I love you guys. That's not a lie. Nothing has changed about my love towards all people. I am angry about what happened to George Floyd, but I wish no ill to anyone. I do want to see that officer in jail. I do want to see the McMichaels locked up, but I'm not going to destroy anything if they're not. To those that look like me, I know that you feel like you don't matter. And I know even at the beginning of this video, I said, I can tell them all day long, but until somebody that doesn't look like them tell them, it's not going to matter. But I'm going to continue to encourage you. I'm going to continue to tell you that you are somebody, that you do matter, that your life is important, and that this world needs you. We can't go forward without you. So be your best selves. To those in Minneapolis, my heart goes out to you. My heart is with you. My prayers is with you. I pray that even through all of this, there can be some healing and some rebuilding. America, you have given us PTSD by picking our people off and hunting them off. So I ask that you give us the therapy that we need to be able to heal from all of the trauma that we're experiencing and have experienced. It's not just on one side of the USA. It's not in the East Coast or the West Coast or the North or the South. It's all over. And so it's America's responsibility to help us make some sense of this and get it together so that we can all move forward together. It's America's responsibility to make sure that we can stand together hand in hand and it be okay. And to the racists of the races out there, be you white, black, blue, yellow, brown, I love you too. And I pray that God breaks up the fallow ground in your heart. And I pray that God allows somebody like me to cross your path that's going to love the hell out of you. So much so that you got to turn around and say, I was wrong for my thoughts. God have mercy on me. And for me, that's enough reparations to know that you will change and go forward being your best you and loving on everybody. So good night. I love you all. Sending love, blessings, and peace your way. Have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for allowing me to get all that out and walk away feeling a little bit lighter. I'll keep you guys in my prayers and I ask that you do the same. Have a good night.